goes.
You know what time it is, man. This is my favorite part of the night. Favorite part of the podcast, man. It's the segment Who You Got. It's where you break down the NFL games, offensive, defense. So, usually we pick the games, but this is the playoffs, guys. So, we're going to break down all 6 games, man. So, I could go first, and then we'll go Corey, Craig. Corey, Melton, Craig, and me. I guess, yeah. All right. Cardinals versus Rams. Very interesting game. For the offense, I got to give it to the Rams. The Cardinals got a lot of injuries on that side of the ball. DeAndre Hopkins, I know he's dealing with a hamstring and knee, and don't know. I don't think he's going to be back. J.J. Watt is supposed to be coming back this week, so that's a big boost for them. So, but that's on the defensive side. So I gotta give it to the Rams. They got Odell, they got Van Jefferson, Higbee. They're running the ball really well, and Matthew Stafford, who is shaky at times. I'd rather have Kyle Murray. I would, hands down. Defense, I got to give it to the Rams, even though the Cardinals, they have a phenomenal pass rush. And J.J. Watt's coming back, but I got to give it to Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, Von Miller. I mean, the defense is just star-studded. Then I just heard today they're signing Eric Weddle back.
Yeah, he came out of retirement.
This is ridiculous. What are you guys doing, man? And Jalen Ramsey just sending these emojis. I'm just whatever, man. He hasn't played I don't think he's gonna be that much of a factor. That's just me. I mean, he could. I don't know. I just know the NFL is hard, but I think he could do it. But I still give the edge of defense to the Rams. Coaching, even though Kingsbury, thought he was going to lose his job. I don't think so. I wouldn't. I know he has his issues with, during the late season. I would like, just fix that. You're good. Kyle Murray just keeps getting better and better in the system. The players like him. I wouldn't even think about firing him for a while. That's just me. So I gotta give it to Sean McVay. I think Sean McVay's just a good coach. I don't know him personally, but I know his coaching style because he came from the Washington football team. So he did, man. I know his coaching tree. I've heard some good stories about him. He's just a hard worker. And he used to beat Jay Gruden to the building, him and Raheem Morris. So I knew then he was going to be great. So not that Jay Gruden didn't get there late, but they were there. They shouldn't beat you there if you're the head coach. That's all I'm gonna say. So anyway, I think this game is going to be really good. It's a divisional game. Now the thing is, the Cardinals play really good on the road, guys. But I just think the Rams they have too much for them. And I think Matthew Stafford can come over his mistakes. Listen, Matthew Stafford might throw a pick six. He's throwing the most in the NFL again this year. But I think he holds it together. And I think that the Rams beat the Cardinals. But I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk at all. And I have the score being 24-28. It's going to be down to the wire. All right, Corey?
Personally, I think this could end up being the best game of the weekend.
It's a good game.
I said it's two divisional opponents, so they are very familiar with each other. And honestly, I think the teams are pretty evenly matched as well. Excuse me. Offensively, I'd give the edge to the Rams. The the overall skill position talent, I think, is still, even with Robert Woods down, is better for the Rams than it is the Cardinals. If DeAndre Hopkins was healthy and playing, different story, but he's not. Defensively, I'll give the edge to the Rams as well, mostly because, as we talked last week, I'm going to go with the team with the better individuals talent. Aaron Donald, Von Miller, Jalen Ramsey. Those are the guys that are going to need to step up and make plays, and those are the guys I trust too. Coaching wise, obviously the edge is going to go to McVay there, but yeah, I do think the Cardinals aren't limping into the playoffs quite like they were looking like they might. And I think even getting to the playoffs and putting on a good showing in a first round matchup is a win for them as a franchise as well. With it's Kyler's first game in the playoffs. It's a first time there in a while. First time for the head coach as well. So I think all of that gives the Rams an advantage. Stafford doesn't have much playoff experience, but McVay does. The rest of that roster does. So I'm going to go with the Rams 23-17.
Oh. All right. Mo, Cardinals versus Rams. Who you got?
Offensively, I agree with Corey. Like I said, I would definitely say Cardinals with a healthy Hopkins, but with him out and not knowing, and I believe is Connor back. I believe one of their backs was hurt. Wasn't it Connor or Edmonds? One of them was hurt. But without D-Hop, I definitely would say the Rams. Defensively, Cardinals don't have a Aaron Donald or Jalen Ramsey when they side the ball. Just two game records. So I would say the Rams. Coaching wise, I'll say McVay. Just more experience. He's taking his team to a Super Bowl. Cliff Kingsbury's still coming into his own. So you gotta go with McVay. This game right here is troublesome, but I'm a firm believer in extra motivation, and I'm a firm believer in just legacy or trying to build your legacy. And right here, this is on Sean McVay and Stafford, because now it's okay. You got rid of Goff for these moments right here that you say he couldn't do. He couldn't win these moments. He wasn't the best fit for these moments. So now if you're here at home in a playoff game, I think it'd be a real bad look to lose first round. You know what I'm saying? It'd be a real bad look to lose to a division opponent at home first round. With what you traded for and what you thought was going to be the best fit for your organization. So I'm gonna go with the Rams. I think they're gonna come out firing. I'm gonna go ahead and say 35-24.
All right, Craig, Cardinals versus Rams. Who you got?
Oh man, offensive side, I'm definitely going with the Rams. Even though I don't trust Matt Stafford at all with the way he's turning the ball over. He's trying to do too much out there, and he's turnover prone at this point. I don't know how far he can take this team playing like that. I don't think it's far. So he's going to have to figure it out quickly. But he's playing like Corey said, they're playing a familiar team. In the Cardinals, they know each other. They split the regular season. When Stafford played well, they won. And in that same game, Murray played bad, I guess, or he didn't have as good of a game as he did. And when they won, because when the Cardinals won, Stafford played poorly and Murray played well. So I think it comes down to whoever turns the ball over the most is it's pretty much the rule anyway. But I don't think they're going to lead their team to a win on Monday. I'm taking the Rams. I think I don't think Akers is going to be back. Even if he was, I don't think he's going to be a big factor because I just think he's still hurt. But Sony Michel's running the ball well, and the Cardinals can be run on. So defensively, I'm taking the Rams as well. I just think they have bigger names, better players, and the defense is playing. Other than that 49ers game, the defense has been playing solid. They won 5 straight before that game, so they look really, really well coming in that. They look pretty good coming in that game. And crazy thing that both teams lost their season finale, which is kind of weird. I thought they both would win, but they're backing in to the playoffs and on a L. So somebody's got to win this game. Coaching wise, Cliff Kingsbury, man, he started out hot. His team started out really well, and then it kind of just fills it out late in the season. McVay even had a 3-game losing streak in there as well. But overall, I would take Sean McVay. All signs are pointing to the Cardinals losing this game and the Rams advancing. And
go ahead, do it if you want to do it, man.
I'm gonna do it, man. Like I don't trust Matt Stafford, man. Like I know he hasn't won before. He's been on some bad Detroit teams. Mm-hmm. He's went to the playoffs twice, I believe, or something like that. It hasn't been many times. The Rams should win this game, but I'm picking the Cardinals. I'm picking the Cardinals to pull off an upset. It's usually it's hard for me to pick an upset because it looks like all the home teams should win every single game. But I got to pick one, and this is one. So I'm going 31-28. I'm going with the Cardinals.
Well, listen. I'm gonna tell you. I think Corey said the same thing. It's gonna be close. All right. It might be like how the Raiders and Chargers game was. That was some of the best football I seen on that Sunday, regardless, right? Because you had the Ravens and Steelers, blah, blah, blah. But that San Francisco Rams game, I was like, yeah, this is playoff football. And then the Chargers and Raiders was everything, man. I stayed up late. It was everything. Down to, I thought it was going to be a tie. I thought it was. And Corey, we picked the Stars to win that game. And they did not. All right, Corey, you're up next. Bengals versus Raiders.
That is fair.
A surprise.
Yeah, coming into this one, as you're talking, the Sunday night game with the Chargers was quite the show. The Raiders have gone on a bit of a Cinderella run to get into the playoffs, unexpectedly beating the Colts, beating the Chargers. So they're in. They earned it. Carr has played really well for them to get them into the playoffs. I just don't know how long that run can continue. Offensively, the overall edge goes to Cincinnati. The Raiders have a better offensive line, and that's about it. The receiving core for Cincinnati is significantly better. The running back and Mixon, I like better than Jacobs or Drake. It's still uncertain if Waller's going to play, and I don't know how well an offense works in the playoffs without its best player. And right now, I'm going to take Joe Burrow over Derek Carr.
He's balling.
He is, and he's got just as much playoff experience as Carr.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. He got hurt, right?
Yep, he broke his leg against the Colts just before the playoffs, and that year that Carr doesn't get hurt, they probably go to a Super Bowl. But defensively, I'm going to give that to Cincinnati as well. So Hendrickson was a tremendous pickup for them. Defense is balling out right now. There's a chance the Raiders do come out. Prove me wrong again. I picked them to be, bottom of the NFL this season. Granted, that was also with John Gruden as their head coach. But I'm going to go with Cincinnati to win this one. I'm going to take the Bengals 31-20.
All right. Mo, Bengals versus Raiders. Who you got?
Offensively, I'm going to take the Bengals, of course. I just think, not to say, you got Burrow, but just the outside weapons. You got Chase, Boyd, you got Boyd, you got Higgins, solid tight end play. You got Mixon in the backfield. It's just a lot of weapons. Defensively, I'll take the Bengals too. A big key in this game is going to be Max Crosby and that pass rush. If they they're gonna have the game of their lives. If they don't, this can get ugly real quick. Coaching wise, you take Zach Taylor. He's done a great job, excellent job. I mean, to win this division, I think this was his third season here. Yeah, third season. This was his third season here. To win that division in third season, we're talking about one of the top divisions in the league, not no just up for grabs division. We're talking about one of the top tier divisions in the league. And to win in his third year, I mean, I know a lot of injuries and a lot of stuff was going down, but man, this is a big kudos to him. I'm gonna take this game. I honestly, I think the Raiders are gonna run out of steam, and I know people would say, well, they stood firm with what with the Chargers, but then Cincinnati weapons and Chargers weapons are two different stories. So I'm gonna go with Cincinnati. I'm gonna say 30-17.
All right. Man, goodness. All right, Craig. Bengals versus Raiders. Well, Raiders versus Bengals.
It's like pretty much everybody else said. The Bengals offense, they just have too many weapons on that side. I will give Derek Carr credit. He's actually playing solid football, especially down the stretch. They have the largest winning streak right now going to the playoffs, tied with Buffalo with four games. So they ended the season off from 6-7 to 10-7. So I mean, you got to give kudos to them and to that whole team, especially with dealing with some of the injuries and some of the distractions that they had. Offenses played pretty well, but just overall, like the Bengals just have too many weapons when everybody's healthy, and I think Joe Burrow should be healthy going into the game on Saturday. So at least I hope he is. I'd like to see a good duel between those two anyway. So. But yeah, I'm taking the Bengals offense. Defensively, I think the Bengals are playing. I think both teams are playing solid defense. Obviously, that last game of the season for the Raiders against the Chargers, that game was there was really no defense. There was a lot of high scoring in that game. But beside that game, like before that game, they were playing solid football on the defensive side. So, but I would slightly lean towards the Bengals, just barely. As far as the coaching goes, I think it's close. Like I think the job that I don't know how to say his last name for the Raiders. I'm gonna call him Nick because that's his first name.
Yeah, I struggle too.
Yeah, I'm not even sure at this point. I think he's done a really good job for taking over this team with all the distractions, all the injuries, everything that happened on the field, off the field. They had at one point they lost 5 of 6. And to end the season off with 4 games in a row and to make the playoffs, like he's done an exceptional job to me to finish the season. So I'm not going to sit here and say he's a better head coach. I don't even know he's going to be the coach next year anyway. But I think they're going in as a push. Like they're both coaching the teams pretty well. I just think that Taylor's been there a little bit longer, so obviously he could get the nod. But they both have the same amount of experience coming to this game, and they're just trying to make the most of it. But with that being said, I'm going with the Bengals. I think when everybody's healthy, and we still don't know what's going on with Darren Waller, who's a big pass catcher for the Raiders, and if they can get Mixon back to how he was earlier in the season or midway through the season running the ball, he was great. Man, I'm going 26-18, the Bengals.
Oh man, so this game I struggle with, but let's just get into it, right? Offense, I gotta go Bengals, right? You gotta go. Just their receiver core alone. Jamar Chase, he's phenomenal. Joe Burrow, last 2 games. I mean, smoking cigars in the locker room. He's doing his thing. Joe Mixon. It's just no words. The offenses and Bengals are better. The defense is better on the Bengals too. They just have an overall better defense, and then they have Hickerson, who's did phenomenal signing from the Saints, and he's balled out this year. Now, I got to give the Raiders Mason Crosby, phenomenal. and a linebacker, Perryman. Good, they're great, but I don't think Mason Crosby goes off like he did against the Chargers. I just don't see it. And I think that they're going to run the ball, which the Raiders are very vulnerable. Coaching. Zach Taylor did a great job. I gotta give it to the Raiders coach, man. And for the position for them to be in, and they had two big wins. They needed 2 wins to get in the playoffs, and they did. They beat the Colts, who at the time looked like they were. I'm not gonna lie, the Colts looked like they were a playoff team already. I swear, I thought they beat the Patriots, they beat the Cardinals. When we broke it down, I was like, oh, they're not gonna lose to the Raiders. They might lose to the Cardinals or the Patriots. They're not gonna lose to the Raiders, but the Raiders beat them. Then the Raiders beat the Chargers. So those are 2 huge wins. But Cincinnati did win the division, as they kind of should have. They should have been in the mix. They look at who they have on their team. But look who the Raiders have on their team. They have Derek Carr. They have Darren Waller, who was out most of the year. They have Josh Jacobs. Their defense is not good. Hunter Renfrow, that's a good coaching job. So, and after everything they've been through, I got to give it to the interim head coach. It should probably think about, it's going to be a long interview process for him. You definitely have to give him a long interview. But listen, man, this matchup, I'm not going to lie, I struggle with it because I keep saying the Bengals are going to be the Bengals, but they haven't been. And last time they played, they beat the Raiders 32-13. This was November 21st. So about a month and a half ago. Right? So, which is it's cool, but they ran the ball. So if they get Joe Mixon running again, it's over. And I think they're probably going to do that. Take a little pressure off Joe Burrow. And I think, I can see the Raiders in it for the first 2 quarters. And then when it gets to the third or fourth quarter, the Bengals are going to wear them down with the running game. And I think the Bengals are going to win. Not 32-13 like they did last time, but it'll be 21-35. Bengals. I can't see them. All right. Mo, Cowboys versus 49ers.
Offense. I'm gonna go with Dallas. I know San Fran sprays the ball around. It looks explosive, but just overall weapons, when it's all clicking, I'm gonna go Dallas. Defensively, I'm gonna go Dallas again. San Fran, doesn't have nobody on Diggs' caliber in the back end. Parsons, we know what he can do game record wise. So I'm gonna go with Dallas defensively. Bosa, I think, is gonna have a huge game, and I think Bosa is gonna be the key to this game. But coaching wise, I'm gonna go with Shanahan. Shanahan's gone to the Super Bowl. He's been consistent with this team. He's taken this team back to the playoffs after what they went through last year with all the injuries and everything. So he got this team back. I said I'm gonna go with Dallas. I think Dallas is gonna win this game. I would not be shocked. And let me say this: I would not be shocked if this becomes a shootout. But I think in the end, Jimmy Garoppolo will make a mistake. He will throw a pick. I'm gonna go 35-27 Dallas. I think it's gonna be a shootout.
All right, Craig. Cowboys versus 49ers. Who you got?
Man, offensively, I'm gonna take Dallas just because they have a bunch of really good position players. I know Gallup is out, but Cedric Wilson has stepped in as that third receiver, and he's been balling. Obviously Zeke is still there, but he's not really looking the same as he did a few years ago. But he's still there. He's still a threat. Pollard as well, and obviously they still have Dak. So, man, it's I don't really like Jimmy. I can't stand Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't like him at all. But he has succeeded in the playoffs, and he succeeded just in general. But I just don't really. If they had almost any other quarterback, if they had Kirk Cousins, I probably would take the 49ers just because I think I believe so much in Deebo Samuel and what he's doing. I believe a lot in Kittle, Eli Mitchell. Like, they have a really good offense. It's just, to me, it's their quarterback that's, I'm not even gonna say it's holding them back, but I just really don't. He's just not like a big time, like Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers or even Dak Prescott type quarterback. So I'm leaning Dallas, but like, I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of this game, Deebo Samuel has the most total yard or something like that. So on the defensive side, though, like, as good as Dallas defense has been, and they're leading the league in takeaways and things like that, San Francisco has the third best defense in the league statistically before at the end of the regular season. So I gotta go with San Francisco's defense. Like, they're 6 in points against, or passing yards against. They are in the top 10 as well against the run. I think they're like 8th.
Yeah,
and they're
nice.
And they're top 10, I believe, are just maybe outside the top 10 in points against. And they're getting healthy on defense. Their defense is playing. They're just a physical team. Like, Michael Parsons is probably the only reason why I would think maybe to lean towards Dallas. And also the fact that they get more takeaways, but that's mainly because of Diggs. But like, this 49ers defense, man, they're a physical group. So I'm gonna lean towards San Francisco. Coaching wise, like, I mean, I'm not gonna pick McCarthy on this one, so I gotta go. And I don't really believe in Kyle Shanahan like that, but like, I mean, he's done a great job to end the season, though. I will give him that. Like, I thought he was going to be on a hot seat this year, just because his team is just underachieved, except for that one season. But he proved me wrong, and I think he's straight. I think he just has a decision to make, obviously, with the quarterback next year. But
you know where he's going. I would do the same thing.
Run it back again? Okay.
No, I'm going Trey Lance. Who's going?
Oh, you would go. He's not a Trey Lance guy. He Jimmy Garoppolo is his guy. That's the only thing.
Yeah, okay.
So, that's this guy. Like, he doesn't want Trey Lance. I think if he wanted Trey Lance, I think he would have been playing by now.
Nah.
But I think whatever their system that they got going is obviously it's worked for them this year. But man, this is another game that I was thinking. I think a lot of people are picking San Francisco, and I'm leaning San Francisco, but I got to go with Dallas. I think they have just too much. I think they have a little bit too much more on that offensive side of the ball that's going to carry them over, and they have to me a better quarterback. So I'm going 27-21.
Okay. Hello? Is this on? Are y'all guys crazy? Y'all haven't been watching. Yeah. Okay. All right. We're going to break this down. Okay. Listen here. Offense. I'm going San Francisco on the offensive side of the ball. Dallas hasn't shown anything on offense besides beating the NFC East and keeping up with the Bucs in the beginning of the season. Besides that, their offense has been atrocious. That's a fact. That's a fact. I don't think they demolished the Giants, they demolished the Eagles with backups, and they demolished the Washington football team. Their offense
put a 35 on New England, no?
Yeah, but that's. I mean, you stop Mac Jones. Who teams are going to do that? You'll see what Buffalo does anyway. So, listen, you got to pass the ball. Bill Belichick doesn't trust him. It's huge. So, listen, I'm telling you this right now. Going with 49ers offense. Deebo Samuel is probably right now balling out of his mind. He's running the ball. He plays with such a physicality. He's running the ball like a running back. And then his yards after catch, he's catching the ball crazy, right? You have George Kittle. And then they're getting healthy in a running back game. And, yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo, he makes mistakes, but he's won. He's won in the playoffs, right? So I got to give it to the offense, to the Bucs. I mean, to the 49ers. The defense. I'm going to go with the 49ers again. They once again, Craig, they not only have the numbers, they have the physicality. I think they're gonna pound. They're gonna dominate the line of scrimmage all game. They're gonna dominate the the line of scrimmage and the defensive line of scrimmage. Coaching, I gotta give it to Shanahan. Once again, great coaching job. He's not smashing watermelons, guys. People believe what he says. Okay, he's not talking about I got my mojo back in training camp. This is like, come on, okay. That doesn't even motivate me. Anyway, that's neither here or there. So that's where I'm just gonna go, and I just think he's just a better coach. I think Shanahan has grew up around it. He gets cocky at times, like in the Super Bowl in Atlanta. Whatever, that happens. So, but I mean, a lot of teams will like him as a head coach. So, I'm going with him. This game, I think the 49ers are going to dominate they're going to dominate the Dallas Cowboys on all levels of the game. They're going to get to Dak. Dallas has no running game. None. And it's very hard to get to this stage relying on Dak. I've just seen it. Like, I've seen it time and time again. I don't think Dak is going to come out and put up a lot of points against the San Francisco defense. I think San Francisco defense Bosa's going to go off. I think Dak is going to throw a costly pick. I think San Francisco is going to run the ball. And the score is going to be, and Dallas fans, I know they're on one right now, and they say they're going to the Super Bowl, and everybody, that's what Dallas fans are saying right now. They're going to get a wake-up call at home. And the 49ers are going to win, just like they beat the Rams. They're going to win 28-20. And that's going to be a late touchdown. It's going to be a garbage time touchdown. All right, Corey. What?
Offensively, I'm going to go Dallas. San Francisco has the more creative offense. And honestly, I think they have the better skill position talent. Just based on where they're at right now, I think Dallas all around has a better skill position set, but most of those guys are hurt, not 100%. Deebo Samuel's just amazing. And Brandon Ayuk has finally gotten involved in the offense after half a season of doing nothing.
He's in a doghouse, man. He was in a doghouse.
That must be a big ass doghouse because he was buried.
Yeah.
But with all that said, I would go Dallas, as Craig said, just because they've got the better quarterback. I trust Dak more than I do Jimmy. I think he's just all around more talented. Defensively, I'm going to get the edge San Francisco. I get Parsons has been a beast. Diggs is getting a lot of publicity for leading the league in interceptions. I think those picks has kind of distracted from the fact that he's also been a bit of a liability in coverage for them. I believe he's given up over 1,000 yards receiving this season.
Trayvon Diggs?
Yeah.
Yeah, he gambles.
And
yeah.
It's high risk, high reward for him, but it's been a lot of bad there. That's been overshadowed by that total. And San Francisco's defense is playing really well, and they've got a dominant edge rusher of their own. Coaching wise, give me Shanahan. I have no love for Mike McCarthy. Overall, I will say Dallas has been a much better team this season than a lot of people, including myself, thought they would end up being. But I don't think they're there yet. I know the expectation is Super Bowl bust. The Niners are playing really good football. They had to earn it to get into the playoffs. And I'm not sure if Dallas is there. I don't trust the team. I don't trust McCarthy. Give me San Francisco 27-24.
All right. Craig, You get the Bills versus the Patriots, man.
Yippee. Okay. Well, this would be a fun game, I guess. This is the third meeting, so just like the Cardinals and the Rams, these two teams know each other pretty well. I'm hoping that it's more like the second game versus the first game. Hopefully, it won't be that type of weather. But
don't want a team winning with 3 passes thrown.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I'll turn the TV. But yeah, I don't want to see that. I'm hoping that we get some type of scoring like the second game was. But offensively, yeah, I got to go with the Bills. I would definitely take Josh Allen. His team got to the AFC Championship game last year. He's having a pretty good year. I think he needs to just slow down on the YOLOs. But his team is playing pretty well offensively, and down the stretch they won 4 games in a row, tied with the Raiders. So kudos to them, and they won the division, including a win over the Patriots. Stephon Diggs. Devin Singletary, I think, is the wild card, I guess, because he's starting to play
playing good
well down the stretch compared to how he was during the first part of the season. I get he had a timeshare with Moss, but at the same time, like they finally kind of tried to establish a running game there. That's not Josh Allen, so kudos to them. Seems to be working the last like 4 or 5 games. But no, New England, obviously they have Mac Jones there. He's a rookie. I think it's his first year being in the playoffs as well. So I don't know what you're really kind of expecting. I know he's kind of expecting that Jaguars performance where they won 50-10, but I don't think that's really going to happen. So offensively, I'm taking the Bills. Defensively, I'm still taking the Bills there as well. I think both of these teams are the Bills are 1. I believe the Patriots are 4 in defense, total defense. So they're right there with each other. They both have 30 takeaways, so they're tied right there as well. I think both defenses are solid. Like both defenses are playing well. The problem is New England has backed into the playoffs kind of like Arizona has. They've lost 3 or 4. They don't look like the same team that at one point before that, I think they won 7 in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 in a row. Mm-hmm. Before that, Colts lost, and like they're just not looking. Other than the Jaguars game, they're not looking good. So, and that's on both sides of the ball. And at this point in time, going into the playoffs, this is not how you want to go into the playoffs, especially against a team that knows you pretty well. Coaching wise, I'm taking Bill Belichick, even though. Because just overall, he has the most playoff experience pretty much out of any coach in the league, and he's been successful. And but McDermott hasn't done a bad job either, especially last season. If he can kind of duplicate that and bring that to this season, I know that more than likely they're probably going to face the Chiefs in the next round, but if they win, but the hand they've been dealt. So. Oh man, I'm taking the Bills here. I don't know what we're going to see from Mac Jones. I don't know I don't know what they got as far as the game plan for him to come out and showcase his talent against the Bills. And just because they don't have experience, I think the defense is going to show up. But I don't know if Mac Jones shows up. If he plays like he did against Miami in this game, it's going to be an early exit. Like early exit, they're going to be down. So I'm taking the Bills. I don't think it's going to be close. I'm going 27-13, Buffalo.
Yep. Third time meeting. 2 teams that know each other well. Offense, I'm going to go with the Bills. Patriots offense listen, top to bottom, the Bills, they have the better quarterback. They have the better receiver. No, Patriots probably have they have the better tight end, right? Patriots probably better running back, a more consistent running game. Let's say that. I don't know if the running backs are better than Singletary. So I got to give the edge to the Bills offense, right? The Bills defense, the defense, it could be a push, but it could definitely be a push. But this is the playoffs. We don't do pushes, man. So I'm going. Yeah, man. We got to pick one, man. Let's go hard. I got to do the Bills. they've been playing good all year, man. Their defense is solid. It's good, and I think they're gonna, like Craig said, besides the Jaguars, Patriots defensive, kind of been a little not as enthusiastic on that side of the ball, not dominating. Look sometimes a little lackluster. Coaching, I gotta go to Belichick. Even though he's about to get this first round exit, he's still gonna I'll still pick him as a better coaching experience. But so even though I like Sean McDermott, I listen, I don't think Sean McDermott, they got him and they have Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. This is his second year. They've won a division. They're not going anywhere. They're a good team, good coach. Let it rock. Let's see. You're right. I think Mac Jones, McCorkle is his name. He's hit a wall, man. And it happens. It happens. It's just not a good time to hit the rookie wall, but it happens to rookies, man. It's just like Craig said, besides the Jacksonville game, he's played horrible. Actually, Big Wright said since the game that he had 3 passes, he's played horrible. I didn't even peep it. Then he put his stats up. I was like, oh my goodness, okay. So that's just interesting. So I just think he hit the wall. It happens. He's a rookie. He has to prepare better in the offseason after they're gonna take this L. And it's okay. They got a young team. It's a rookie quarterback. They made it back to the playoffs after missing last year. So, I just don't think the Patriots are there yet. And I got the Patriots losing, and I have the Bills winning. And the Bills they're gonna put up some points, man. I think they're gonna make a statement. It's gonna be like 35-21. Yeah. All right, Corey.
Yeah, offensively, give the edge to Buffalo. For all the reasons stated. Mac Jones, he's a rookie. There's limitations to the offense with the wide receiver group, and just asking a rookie to kind of do a lot for you in the playoffs can be dangerous. And Josh Allen, the last month or so, he's just playing significantly better football than he was to start the year. He's back to being that dynamic playmaker that we saw in the playoffs last year, and was the reason why everybody thought Buffalo would be, it'd be Buffalo, Kansas City to close out the year when it all started. Josh Allen is finally back to that level. So it obviously have to go Buffalo there. Defensively, I'll give the edge slightly to New England. Yeah, I agree. It's close.
It's close.
But along the same reason why it goes coaching, you got Bill Belichick in charge. It's hard to bet against him come playoff time. He's going to have something ready for Buffalo. Overall, again, it's really hard to go against Bill Belichick in the playoffs. What he's done all year with this team has been impressive, getting New England back into the playoffs, having them in a position late in the year to potentially even win that division. I don't think anybody really saw that as as something they would have had to have shot to do going into the final week of the season.
Yeah.
But Buffalo's playing too well right now. There's still limitations to that New England team, to that offense specifically. Yeah. And give me Josh Allen, give me Buffalo 28-20.
Yeah. All right. Mo, Bills versus Patriots.
Offensively, Bills, just more weapons, more continuity. Defensively, I also take the Bills. Ed Oliver, Edmonds at linebacker. I just think they had some solid pieces. I mean, Pryor back there in safety. I think the loss of White was a blow, but I think they've still played well. Head coaching wise, of course, you're gonna take Belichick. just the all-time great, the GOAT of coaching. You know what I'm saying? I honestly think both teams are going to make adjustments, and both teams are going to try to stop each other's strength. I think this is going to be an old school. I think it's going to be a slugfest. I think it's going to be a real physical game. I'm gonna take the Bills though. I think Kyle Allen's going. Josh Allen's going to make more plays, but I'm gonna go 20-14 Bills.
All right. Listen, it's no dig against the Patriots. I just think they hit a wall. I said, it's just it happens. I think it's a rookie thing, So hopefully McCorkle can come back next year. Or Mac Jones is his nickname is. All right, so Bucs versus Eagles. All right, very interesting game. Tom Brady in the playoffs again. So offensive wise, even though they're down a couple of receivers, one left voluntarily, one got hurt. Anyway, so stuff happens. So, but they got Mike Evans. They still have Gronk. I just think I got something today about Ronald Jones. I don't know if he's going to be able to play. And I don't know about Fournette. But I just think that Brady, Evans, and Gronk is enough offense, I think. Now, I do like Devontae Smith. I love him. I don't think they utilize him enough. And like Miles Sanders, I don't think they utilize him enough. But I'm giving the Bucs the edge on offense. Defense, listen, I really liked Philly's defense. But I'm gonna give it to the Bucs. I think the Bucs just gonna have listen, Philly loves to run the ball, and the Bucs are really good at stopping the run. So that's the movable force meets immovable object, right? So I'm give Tampa Bay defense the edge. Their defense is just better. They're playing better, and the only problem is injuries. Coaching, listen, Nick Sirianni surprised me. Well, he didn't surprise. He did. He was like, "We're just going to run the ball 40 times a game. And that's how we're going to win." And I like it. That's a good philosophy. I like teams that run the ball, but he's going to have to find. Excuse me. He's going to have to find balance, especially if they want to keep going to the playoffs and win. Because next year teams are just going to stop the run and dare you to throw with Jalen Hurts. That's going to happen, right? Coaching, Bruce Arians, man, he's the man. BA, he'll cuss you out. What happens? I don't want to say it on camera, but we'll talk about that off screen. This is the way BA is, man. So I think he's a great coach, offensive mind. He's been a great coach for Pittsburgh. He's been a great coach for the Colts. Great coach for the Cardinals. Good coach for Tampa, man. So I gotta give it the edge to him. This game, I think, is going to be not interesting. I think it's going to start off very slow, and then I think the Bucs are going to dominate. Just because I just don't think the Eagles have enough on either side of the ball to even compete. So I think this is going to be one of those kids. It's going to be like 35-17 Bucs. Go ahead, Corey.
I was about to say, James, like when you started out saying, this is an interesting game. Like, is it? Is it really? This is the other end, that double-edged sword when it comes to adding a seventh playoff team.
Yeah.
Last year, the seventh seed was the Colts. Colts-Bills wildcard weekend was the best game of wildcard weekend. This year, the seven seeds are not that good, and these games shouldn't be all that competitive. And I mean, people are going to watch because it's the NFL, but are you really helping your product by putting bad playoff games out there? I mean, I think part of the reason the NBA has problems come playoff time is that I know for the longest time, the Eastern Conference has been pretty weak. First 3 seeds probably are close to sweeps. Why watch?
Yeah.
This game, Philly making the playoffs, rookie head coach, young quarterback in Jalen Hurts, tremendous story. Yes, Philly had like the second easiest schedule in all of football this year, but still a good story. But that ends this week. Yes, the Tampa Bay defense isn't playing at the absolute dominant level that it was last year when they carried the Bucs to a Super Bowl championship, but they don't need to play at that level to get past the Eagles. If this thing is still competitive in the third quarter, Tampa Bay has done something horrifically bad. Give me Tampa Bay 31-17.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Some wish the Saints would have made it.
That would have at least been a little more interesting.
We have something to talk about. Something to talk about, though, Craig. All right, Bo. Bucs versus Eagles, Bo.
This game right here is one of my 2 blowouts of the playoffs. I think these 2 are going to be blowouts, probably over by halftime. Offensively and defensively, I'll take Tampa. Coaching wise, you're going to take Bruce Arians. No disrespect to Philly's coach, he's done a great job as a rookie coach and taking a second year unproven quarterback to the playoffs. Kudos to him. It's just going to get ugly on so many reasons. Philly's offense I don't think is going to be able to run the ball or make enough splash plays to hold up. I think Tampa's going to come out firing. Just right quick, just the unrealness of Brady's career. I was just looking this up as everybody was talking. So in total, Brady is 34-11 in the playoffs with 83 touchdowns and 38 picks. That's just mind-boggling to look at that and know you sustain that kind of greatness over your lifetime. I mean, a lot of people come out with Spygate and all the other stuff. I ain't gonna say I don't care, but look, those numbers are never gonna be duplicated as far as playoff. I think this game right here will be his 46th playoff game. That is just ridiculous. Like, I don't even know who's the next closest quarterback as far as playing in playoff games, but this will be his 46th playoff game. But Corey took my score. I was thinking the same thing as soon as I was thinking about this game. I think it's going to be 31-17.
Oh, guys, Leonard Fournette, Lamonte David, and Giovanni Bernard all return to practice Wednesday. All right, Craig. Bucs and Eagles.
Well, the Bucs definitely have the better offense. I know there's some pieces missing. Obviously, missing 2 wide receivers, and you just mentioned Fournette coming back. Who knows how much he's going to play, or what his percentage he's going to play, or what a percentage that he health-wise he is right now. When you look at the Eagles on the other side, they're still missing some pieces as well. Like Miles Sanders, they're hoping that he comes back, but there's no guarantee. Howard coming off of COVID, he should be back, and they outside of Devonta Smith, like they really don't have nobody to throw the ball to. I guess Goddard, but even without Brown and without Godwin, like there's still Evans, there's still Gronk, and there's still some other pieces that Brady can utilize for that offense, and it's still Tom Brady. Like I know that the Eagles have the best running attack in the league, mainly because of Hurts. And the Bucs have the 3rd best run stopping team in the league. And even though they still have a bunch of injuries, it's pretty much all Tampa Bay here, pretty much across the board. I do think Philly's defense, or the defense, ranks higher than Tampa Bay's overall, but just other intangibles like sacks and takeaways and things like that. That's all Tampa Bay.
What do they lead them in? Is it overall defense or like
overall yard?
Okay.
But takeaway from sacks is all Tampa Bay. But a lot of people thought this Bucs team was going to roll over top of Washington last year. Now, granted, last year was a road game, but but it's kind of sort of the same thing. You're going against the NFC East team, a weaker NFC East team that you should dominate. The quarterback is in his first year, I believe. I think that was Allen's first year quarterback for them in the playoffs. And this is the same thing with Hurts. Team that used to steamroll, and they barely won. They won 31-23. Like, I mean, not who did I say? I meant Heineke.
Yeah.
He went out there and he played like he had nothing to lose. And I think that's what the Eagles have to do in this game. Like this, nobody's picking you to win. You're not supposed to win this game. You're on the road. You're a cold weather team. You're playing in hot weather, or should be decent weather. You should get blown out in this game, but they have to go in and just play like don't have a care in the world. So they go out and take that mindset. I think they can keep it close or closer than what a lot of people are thinking. But in the end, I think Tampa Bay pulls away. And I'm going with the Bucs 35-23.
Yep. These last two ones are somebody questioned that too. They were like, why even have, I think it was Nick Wright. He was like, why'd you expand the playoffs? He said, I get the 17th game. That was awesome. But expanding the playoffs is when you get the Steelers and the Eagles. All right, Corey, you got the last one, Chiefs versus Steelers.
Yeah. I kind of have as little to say about this game as I did the Tampa Bay Philly game. I guess good for Roethlisberger getting into the playoffs in his final year in Pittsburgh. Winning that game in week 18 is a good send-off for him. This playoff game won't be. And hell, Roethlisberger doesn't even believe the Steelers have a chance to win. So, like, come on now. I will say a hell of a job by Mike Tomlin to get this team in this position. The Steelers really have no business being a playoff team. They are. And kudos to Tomlin for that. But Kansas City's the better team. Barring J.J. Watt setting a single game record for sacks in a game and the defense probably getting a touchdown or two, I think Kansas City wins this relatively easily. I don't expect this to go much better than the Steelers playoff game last year. I'm going to go Kansas City 34-13.
All right, Mo, Chiefs versus Steelers.
I mean, of course, offensively and defensively, you have to go with Kansas City. Coaching wise is where the tough lies. But I'm gonna go with Tomlin. I mean, coaching wise, I'm gonna go with Tomlin. I think he's done more with little, more with less. No disrespect to Andy Reid, but just look at the job he's done. This is just nobody thought this. Nobody would remotely think that Pittsburgh been in the playoffs when the season began. You know what I'm saying? I would go with this is gonna be ugly. This game is gonna be ugly. I hate to see Ben go like this. But I love to see he gets one last national platform, one last game. Yeah, I think Kansas City's gonna be motivated. One by the Cincinnati game, and two by ending the season like they did in a dogfight like that within the division. I think that could help really motivate a team. So I think they're gonna put a 40 spot on them. I think it's gonna be 40-14. I think it's gonna be ugly. Yeah, I know. It's gonna be real ugly.
All right, Craig, Chiefs versus Steelers.
Well, these two teams met a few weeks ago, and it was a blowout. It's going to be kind of the same situation as far as the Steelers on the road in Kansas City. But Kansas City, man, they just haven't been playing well. Like I don't really. This is a vulnerable team. Like I don't really have any faith in them. But at the same time, I don't really have any faith in Ben Roethlisberger either. So, I mean, not faith. I shouldn't say faith. I should say extra confident. Like I was last year, I was very confident. And even still, like if I were to pick a team, I would pick the Chiefs to come out of the AFC. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they get beat by a team. I don't think this is going to be that team in Pittsburgh, but never say never. But just definitely on the offensive side, I think just because they have Patrick Mahomes, I'm taking the Chiefs. I think what Najee Harris has done, if he's healthy, like he was the second half, I believe, of that game, and pretty much the whole season, hasn't thrown the ball at all, and that's tough for a rookie running back. And Deontay Johnson, Claypool, like these guys are are playing pretty well. It's just the quarterback, and the quarterback is a liability out there at times. He made some big throws in that game against Baltimore and brought them back, and they're in the playoffs. So, and he has experience. He's been there before, but so has Patrick Mahomes. Defensive side, though, I'm picking Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh has pretty much every category on defense, every big category. They got them in yards, turnovers, sacks, so points per game. So I'm picking Pittsburgh on defensive side. I'm also picking Tomlin as the coach. I think what he's done. I know Andy Reid, but that was expected. I don't think too many people picked the Steelers. Even I didn't make the playoffs. I thought they would finish at 500 or something like that, or it couldn't be 500. Maybe 9-8 or 8-9 or something like that. Whatever I picked, but they're in the playoffs, and I think what Mike Tomlin has done for this team, and with everything that he had to endure, like I said a few weeks ago, he's had to endure Ben Roethlisberger. That's a challenge to me this year, because he just doesn't have the same arm strength or anything that he had a few years ago. So I think Tomlin has done a phenomenal job for this team. But overall, yeah, I'm picking the Chiefs. I don't think it's going to be that 36-10. I think the Chiefs kind of just get ahead early and then just run the ball, run the clock out. So I'm going Chiefs 27 to. Actually, I'm going 30-13.
Okay. Yeah. Once again, this game is. I'm happy for Ben Roethlisberger. I'm happy for Mike Tomlin. I'm happy for the Steelers organization. Right? It's a nice way. They got a lot of decisions to make next year. So this might be their last trip to playoffs for a second. Got to figure out that quarterback position. So offense, I got the Chiefs. But listen, like Craig said, I love Najee Harris, Deontay Johnson, their rookie tight end, Pat Freiermuth, which it is. Freiermuth, yeah. So great. I love it. But I got to give it to the Chiefs. Defense, I'll give it to Pittsburgh, but I think they're gonna. In this game, I'm gonna give it to the Chiefs. I'm not giving it to Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh defense is gonna get 40 ball put on them. So I'm gonna give the edge to the Chiefs defense. That's how I'm going, man. If the Steelers hold them to 20, cool, but they're not. So I'm not picking their defense. Their defense is gonna get blown out. Coaching, I'll give it to Tomlin. He did a wonderful job this year. But he's gonna get his butt handed to him too. I mean, this is gonna be back-to-back blowout playoff losses. I'm not used to seeing this from the Steelers, man. So, but it's just gonna be back-to-back. Way to go! You give the Chiefs a booster. This is a booster game for them, man. They're gonna beat them by like 35 or 40 or 30. What Craig, you said 30 to 13. That's a booster, man. They're gonna be boosted going to play the Bills. So, that's what you don't want to do is give teams like the Chiefs or the Bucs easy playoff games because it just magnifies. They're gonna be a tougher out. Okay, we got this.
To be fair, that's part of why Brady's the luckiest athlete in sports history because he's had a lot of those in New England.
Yeah.
The man had a Super Bowl path of facing Marcus Mariota and Blake Bortles.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Damn, he did, didn't he?
Man,
He did.
That playoff game, that AFC Championship game too.
Yeah, because he played Saxonville in a championship game.
Yeah, I mean, even worse that they should have lost that championship game.
Yeah. So I just feel like it's so it's a wrap, man. So I love the Pittsburgh organization. They'll be back, but whether we see Ben play next year or not, he got into the playoffs, which is nice, and they got into the playoffs. Mike Tomlin did a phenomenal job, but I have the Chiefs beating them. I said 40, but I'm gonna go 35-17. They're gonna.
And the first game was 36-10, and
Yeah.
the scary part about that is Kelsey didn't play, and Tyreek Hill only had 2 catches for 19 yards.
Jesus.
And you still got 36.
Now Kelsey's back. Oh my God! I changed my pick. 45. It's just a booster, man. It's a good teams, man. I hope, for instance, if I do want them to keep the 7th player. I think the 7th seed is going to be like how Thursday Night Football was. It's going to take a while. Like if we had the Eagles instead of the Saints, or the Colts instead of or even the Chargers instead of the Raiders, we'd be talking about different games. But I'm sorry, not the Raiders, the Steelers. So say if it was the Chargers or the Steelers, and then the Saints and Bucs, people would be talking about differently. Tom Brady wouldn't go in all that confidence with the Saints because we wouldn't know.